Hello and welcome. My name is Waldo, and in this video, I'm going to try to drive this machine for the first time. This is a Dynahoe 160 tractor-loader-backhoe that I bought cheaply in non-running condition. Over the last several videos, I've been working on this machine, doing things like installing a rebuilt engine, starting it for the first time, and getting the hydraulics working. All that work culminates today when I drive it for the first time. I might be putting the cart before the horse though, because I don't know if it's going to work. The biggest unknown is the transmission. I can find some comfort in the fact that the transmission fluid looks good visually, but I don't know if it's going to function. The first thing I'm going to do is top off the transmission fluid, because some of it drained out when I removed the transmission cooler and the torque converter. So the transmission takes a Dexron ATF. And the level is kind of low. It's not really showing on the dipstick. Alright, it looks like it's full. Actually, it looks like I got lucky with that fluid level. Alright, I just looked down and the oil filter housing is like spewing oil almost. I did actually run it already today, so it probably built up some pressure and started leaking. I swear to God, I am going to replace this with a spin-on filter if it's the last thing I do, because I hate these cartridge filter housings. They leak all the time for me. Alright, so I just checked the service manual and it calls for 50 to 60 foot-pounds of torque for that bolt there on the bottom. So I guess I didn't have it nearly tight enough. So I just tightened it up, wiped it down, and I'll check it again after I run the engine and see if it still leaks. Next, the tire pressure looks a bit low, so I'm going to check the tire pressure and add air. And it reads about 13 psi, and it's supposed to be 26 psi. That's about 24 psi. We'll call it close enough. I'm a little bit nervous about airing up these old cracked tires too high. Who knows what could happen. I feel like washing the windshield because it's filthy. All right, and now for the moment of truth. I'm going to start this thing up. I'm going to lift the backhoe off the ground, lift the loader arms up a little bit, and see if it moves. This right here is the selector lever for forwards and backwards. All right. Oh. All right, I see a big puddle of oil there, so that's really not good. No, all right, I maintained oil pressure though, so I don't think there was any damage, but that's probably something I should have checked before I took off. All right, well, all right, it moves. The transmission works. All right, I got to deal with this oil issue here. All right, well, that was dumb of me. I should have checked that before I started moving, because I made a little bit of a mess. I have a drain pan underneath it now to catch the leaking, but I swear, these cartridge-style oil filters. All right, so I got the oil filter housing leak sorted out. So the problem was that when I installed the oil filter housing, I installed a seal over another seal that I didn't really see. There was already a seal there for whatever reason, so that's what caused it to leak. So a couple of you guys asked, how did I gain my mechanical knowledge? Because I don't have a background as a professional mechanic. But this is one of the ways that I've learned. It's by doing something stupid and then hopefully learning from it. Next, I want to install the grill. Not only will it protect the front of the tractor, but it also is very heavy and it serves as a counterweight on the front of the machine so that when I'm using the backhoe, it doesn't like move around all over the place, so that's kind of important. First, I need to move this bucket out of the way. This is not the bucket for this machine, this is the bucket for my tractor. One of these days I'm going to get around to installing that, but for now I'm going to move it out of the way. right, so coming down this hill, I found out the hard way that the brakes actually don't work. So I don't know, I was going pretty quickly, and it's pretty bumpy there, so it knocked the loader bucket off, which is actually probably a good thing because it went underneath and kind of acted as a tire chock to stop the machine. So I can't really complain too much about that. The machine itself, yeah, there's no damage here or anything like that. Everything's good. This thing's built like a tank. But for some reason, now the machine won't start. So I've checked all the fluids. Everything looks fine. It kind of wants to run, but it's not running enough to start. So I'm thinking that maybe there was some junk in the bottom of the fuel tank. Now, if you watched one of my earlier videos, I did drain the fuel tank and everything looked good. But I wonder if maybe there was stuff towards the back end of the fuel tank, in the back corner, that didn't come out when I drained it. And when I was going down the hill over all those bumps, it stirred up a bunch of crap and tried to get sucked into the fuel system. So, and it's probably clogging the inlet pipe if that's the case. I took a look inside and it's all cloudy, so I can't actually see down to the bottom, which also further suggests that stuff got stirred up in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain the fuel tank and try to clear all that out, and we'll see if that fixes it. In the meantime, I also just went ahead and ordered a couple new fuel filters just in case I need them. All right, so I went ahead and drained out the fuel tank, and it definitely is a bit dirty in there. It's still pretty hard to see in though, because I'm looking through the filler hole, and it's a small hole, and the tank is actually pretty big, so it's really hard to see. So it's inconclusive as to whether or not the fuel line is clogged. To test that hypothesis, I've gone ahead and rigged up a temporary fuel tank. This way I can see if that's actually the issue before I start doing anything drastic. All right, well now I can be pretty sure that that was the issue. So I guess I gotta clean the fuel tank. All right, so here's the fuel tank. This is gonna be pretty tricky to clean out for a few reasons. So first, the filler at the top there is pretty small, and as you can see, it's a pretty big fuel tank. It's pretty deep, and the filler is at this corner of it. So I really don't have good access to get in there. It does have a drain at the bottom of the tank, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but the tank is actually dented so that the drain is not at the very bottom. The drain is up a little bit higher, so it's actually hard to drain out all of the liquid this way without using some sort of suction from the top of the tank. And lastly, I'm pretty far from the house, so I don't have access to electricity or running water here. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to clean out the fuel tank. I'm really tempted to just cut the fuel tank open so I have easy access. Later I can either weld it back together, or I can make it so I have a permanent hatch so I can access the fuel tank later on if I need to. For now, I'm going to move the machine closer to the house. Well, I successfully moved the machine closer to the house where I have water and electricity to work on it. I do wonder if the transmission is actually a little bit weak, and I'm not sure, but when I was backing up the hill there, the machine wouldn't move at idle. I had to add some throttle. But once I added some throttle, it did back up just fine. Anyway, the next steps are to clean out the fuel tank and then reassemble the front end so I can actually put this thing to use. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching.